Welcome back, Pontiac High School students. Oh my goodness, this is a long one, so we're going to break it into two parts for you. We won't get through the whole thing in this one video, get you a little break in between. But this is the organization of the executive branch of government. It is big. We got a lot to talk about. Let's get into it. The executive office of the president is chosen by the president. He gets to choose those people that work for him. Now, these members are the president's staff. They are not hired to help enforce laws. They are largely there to advise the president. Okay, other people and like cabinet positions, that's different. This is the executive office of the president. These are the closest advisors to him. Most importantly, we have the White House staff. White House staff includes researchers who are going to look into all the legal ramifications of all the stuff he's going to try to do. We have writers, including speechwriters, legal experts, key advisors, your press secretary, that's your public face of the administration, and your president's chief of staff, the person that makes sure that everything the president wants to get done gets done. Now, the White House staff works for and advises the president. Though they can be very influential in government, they really can. They have no official role in government. There's no official powers given to the chief of staff, even though they are an incredibly important and powerful individual. All of their power comes from the president themselves. The VP, the VIP, the vice. His official role is actually really limited. They have one official legislative role, and that is to break a tie vote in the Senate. So if there's a tie in the Senate, the VP gets to break that tie. That's it. However, they do have some unofficial roles. They have been used as special ambassadors, sent to other countries to deal with a special issue. They have headed up special commissions. And sometimes, as in the case of poor John Adams, our first vice president, they've been pretty much entirely ignored. Now, there is another thing, though, because if a president is unable to perform his duty, either due to illness or death, the vice president of the United States gets to take over. So the VP is very unimportant, except that they might become very important. The life of a vice president. All right, independent agencies. What else is going on? Despite other executive departments, the cabinet, which we'll get into next time, there's other agencies, there's other organizations that work for our executive branch. And that's simply because the president needs their help in carrying out these laws. Now, for this purpose, Congress has approved the creation of over 60 of these independent agencies. The ones you may or may not have heard of include the National Aeronautics and Space Association, or NASA. We've got the Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA. We've got the Federal Communications Commission, the FCC, and a million other ones like that. So those are all part of the executive branch. Presidents get a lot of say in what goes on there, but they're also kind of independent in some other important ways. We also have something called government corporations. These are things that our government does that kind of function in the way businesses do. The United States Postal Service is probably the best example of a government corporation. It acts like a business. You walk into the Postal Service, you purchase a service, they provide the service, and we're good. Government corporations operate like businesses, except they take on roles that business leaders might consider too risky or too expensive to invest in. So the government says, we really need this service. Everybody else is too afraid to provide it, or they don't see enough opportunity for profit, even though we need it. So the government steps in and the government does it. It's when the principles of supply and demand don't actually lead to the creation of anything. Now, those are the executive branch officials that I wanted to discuss in today's lesson. These are the ones that are most directly controlled by the president with less kind of oversight, although the independent agencies and government corporations are kind of their own things. Next time, we're going to get into the cabinet and the role of some key cabinet officials. So I will see you then. Thank you for joining me today, and farewell.